Alright guys, welcome to my channel. We're going to talk about something that I've been watching on YouTube, and as much as I see it, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what to think of this person, let alone being a leader of a group. And the group we're talking about today is the NAFAC. The N-word ain't effing around coalition. And we're talking about their leader, Grandmaster J. Kind of sounds like Grand Wizard or Grand Dragon. Is this the Black Ku Klux Klan? I don't know. But we're going to talk about a specific video that's been going around all over YouTube. Everybody's critiquing it. It's going like crazy. And I have to say something. I just couldn't sit by anymore. This is beyond stupid. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to show you the video, the clip I found in its entirety, the unedited clip that I could find on YouTube. I wouldn't want to put the whole video because that's like an hour and a half long. So the specific spot that we're talking about, I got that clip. We're going to play it, and you let me know what you think. Let's roll the clip.
This is my first weapon that I ever bought. I bought this weapon back in 1990 in Germany. This is an XR-15 shorty. We call it a bullpup because this bitch got kicked to it. This bitch will knock you the fuck down. The interesting thing about this weapon is if I pull back the bolt, see that? See the bolt? There's no bullet in there. Pay very close attention. If I'm not paying attention and I take this weapon and I bang it, look what just happened. The bolt goes forward. The weapon has fired. I didn't touch the trigger. I just simply banged it on the table. If you sit down and you bang this on the ground, you will blow your head off. It happens in basic training every day. And y'all get a letter and a flag saying your son was killed in a training accident. An old shotgun, if you drop it, it will fire. So don't believe these motherfuckers running around talking about you shouldn't have your hand on the trigger. You don't have to have your hand on the trigger. Let me show you again. I'm going to sit down. I'm tired. You just committed an incident. Your hand was not on the trigger. Doesn't make a difference whether, and it was on safe. Unless you understand weapons for real, don't you listen to these motherfuckers who have no intention of ever picking up one and who don't understand that weapons go off by themselves all the time.
See that shit? Honestly, did you not just have one of those Bugs Bunny moments when he was talking? He called it an XR-15 bullpup. I don't know where the hell he come up with this name, but that is an AR-15. Since the late 50s, early 60s, that rifle has been called an AR-15, civilian version. Later on, the military created one, or their version of it through Colt, or Colt created it for them, and it was called the M16. And the M16, the M in M16 does not stand for military or anything like that. It simply stands for model. So it's a model 15. Just like the M16 Alpha 2, which was a 3-round burst version, which is model 15. Then you had the M4, which is the model 14. That's all they are. That's another mistake this guy's made. Then he comes around and says, this bitch got some kick. Excuse my language. He already cursed. I'm just gonna go with it. But he says this bitch got some kick. It doesn't have any kick. It is a 22 caliber projectile. It has a lot of gunpowder in it, but it's a small round. The reason why the military used this weapon was because the previous weapon before this, the M14, was a higher caliber round. I believe it was a 30-30 or 30-06 or 308. I can't remember. You can look it up. Leave a description in the comment section. But it was a larger round. They went to this one. This round, the 5.56 or the 223 was created specifically for this rifle. So it doesn't have any kick. That's the reason why the Army uses it. Second, it's not a bullpup. A bullpup is a conversion kit that you can buy for AR-15s and certain shotguns. The conversion kit, what it does is it places the trigger before the magazine well. By doing that, you actually make the firearm smaller without having to cut the barrel. Civilian world, rifles have to have anywhere, I think it's 16 to 14, something like that. It has to have a certain distance or certain length, and that is considered a rifle. Now, if you wanted to customize your weapon and shave off some inches off that barrel, well, you have to go to the government and pay a certain tax, which is called an SRB tax, short rifle barrel. And it's about $200 here in Texas. The last time I checked, not really sure. But this circumvents that because legally, it's the same length rifle. The barrel is the same size. But with the kit on there, makes the entire weapon smaller, more compact. Turns it into a close quarter weapon almost. Same thing with the bullpup shotgun conversion kit. You can look those up online. I looked into myself. I'm thinking about getting one. That's another thing he screwed the pooch on. Second, I don't know if you heard in this video, but I heard in a couple of other videos that people had on their website, couldn't use the footage from theirs. But somebody hands him that weapon, and he says, "Give me the bullpup." And they say, "Yes, sir." I don't know who this person is, but he's just as dumb as Grandmaster J. Because even his dumbass called it a bullpup. Another thing, I served in the military. Most of my friends know it. My family knows it. I spent many, many years in the military. We trained constantly. Now, I went to basic training in 95 through Fort Sill, Oklahoma for 13 Bravo, which is artillery. We didn't touch a weapon till about maybe the second 2.5 weeks in. That's one. We did a lot of other training before we got to the weapons. I was there for 13 weeks. It's called OSEC. It's consecutive training. I went straight from basic training, straight into my AIT, and then graduation onto my unit. Nobody died. Nobody died. There was no flags handed out. We weren't constantly getting medevacs. Everybody who was in my basic training unit, when we first got there out of the cattle trucks to graduation day, were the same people. We weren't handing flags. There was no Purple Hearts. There was no letters to their mamas. So that's another reason why I don't believe this guy ever served in the military. Then let's go on. What else? He grabs the weapon, slams it on the table, and then what does he go? The boat rides forward. You have just created an incident. I'm telling you, this guy is completely nonsensical. When the boat rides forward, you have just chambered the weapon. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Here's my XR-15 bullpup. I'm going to start using that. That's what I'm going to call my rifle from now on. It's an XR-15 bullpup. I think he might have got it confused with the XR-18. I think that's the Blackbird or the XR-71 Blackbird. I think he got his nomenclatures mixed up. But let's take a look. Making sure that the weapon is clear. There's no ammunition in it. Get my hand away from there. Look at that. It went. But now take a look at this. Let's see if you can listen. I'm going to put it up to the mic, see if you can hear it. If you heard it, that's the firing pin being fired on, being hit. This does not do anything. He talks about, oh, I'm tired. You just created an incident. You probably did in the military, because I'm pretty sure on most ranges, they have you with the bolt carrier to the rear. For the simple fact is, until you get onto your lane, the instructor needs to verify that your weapon is clear. They don't want anybody walking around with a possible loaded weapon. So, you have to walk around with the bolt to the rear. Now, if you're sitting down and that happens and you don't click it and check it and verify and you walk up to your instructor, guess what? You just made an incident for yourself. Nobody died. You're probably going to do some push-ups or maybe some side struttle hops or some iron mics because you simply didn't follow instructions and you stepped up to the firing instructor with possibly a loaded weapon. So I don't know what he's talking about. But here's another thing. Let's take a look inside this weapon. Nobody ever does this. Let's take a look at the bolt itself. Here's the carrying bolt. This does not fire. You want to see what fires the round? Let me get my tool here. I hate taking these things apart. Got to do it every time I go to the range. This is the firing pin. That tiny little nub up top. That's all is needed to put pressure on the round to fire the weapon. That's it. Doing all this, sliding back and forth, doesn't put no pressure on it. Doesn't have the pounds per square inch. But let's see what it does. Hopefully you can see it on the camera. Let me see if I can put it here. Here's the trigger mechanism. See how hard that hits? That's what fires the round. This little hammer right here is what actually hits the firing pin and causes the weapon to fire. Let me put all this back. Don't want to ruin my XR-15 bullpup. Okay, put that down. Now I'm going to say it again. Grandmaster J is an idiot. Without question, he simply said that you just fired the round. He says don't listen to any of these motherfuckers who never had or intended to fire a weapon. He's the motherfucker he's talking about. Because he doesn't know what he's doing. And the man leads an army of imbeciles. I saw some other videos out there, which I'm going to get into. Oh, believe you me, This man has enough material to give me a full season on this show, on this channel. I'm gonna give you a little taste. It's possibly gonna be my next video. All the tactical gear they got, I know exactly where they got it. I see it all the time. It's called a Wish. The tactical vest that some of those guys are wearing, even Grandmaster Jay himself, is a $56 tactical vest designed for airsoft and paintball. He's rocking it. And you know why I spotted it? Because I shop around. I do a lot of tactical purchasing and stuff online. And Wish always comes up. It's one of those little pop-up ads. You know, you're looking for optics. You're looking for sights, stocks, tactical gear. Wish always comes up. It's a little pop-up on the bottom of the screen. Hey, you're looking for this? We got this here for this much. 80% off, 95% off. It's only this much. And I seen that vest. And I did click on the Wish site because I do buy some things from Wish. You know, little crappy stuff. But I did click on to see the vest because it looked kind of cool on the picture. And it's designed after the same vest that they wore in the movie Transformers. The little vest that the soldiers are wearing that are fighting alongside the Autobots, that's the vest they're wearing. It's a big piece of freaking velvet or like some type of a foam insulator, and it has these little W's of hard plastic bolted in there. In the movie, it looked good because they probably had a very good costume designer that can make it look badass. But he got his from China. China doesn't make anything badass. They make it worse. But I'm not gonna get into all that because that's for another video. All I'm gonna get into is just this knucklehead, straight knucklehead. I'm losing brain cells just talking about him. It's just that ridiculous. All right, but I'm gonna leave it there. Grandmaster Jay is a fool. Anybody who follows him is another fool. Please, if somebody's in his little group that has any type of military training, take the reins from Master Sergeant Grandmaster Jay. All right, please put that man in a small room with a box of crayons and some coloring books. Do not let this man go on TV representing your group. He's doing a horrible job. All right, but that's it for this video here. Hit the like or subscribe button. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know if I messed up. This is my first video on this channel like this. I'm gonna be doing a lot more, so stay tuned. I got some other videos coming out for some other topics out here. We just start this channel is just kicking off. So once again, this is Sergeant Geek signing off.